Hey guys, it is time for Bollocks this evening. It is Thursday evening. I'm sitting here with the one and only Lenny Remo.
If there were two of me, it would be a scarier planet. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know what I'd do. But we are in, Lenny, where are we at?
The Bozard Ford Studio.
It wasn't in stereo, but you still know.
All right.
All right. But and I got to tell you about the wonderful people at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com.
It's a beautiful evening in St. Augustine. It's getting busy for the Halloween holiday. People are coming to town, and if you're looking for someplace great to eat, right there in downtown, eat, drink, and be Irish at Meehan's Irish Pub and Seafood House. It's right on the waterfront in downtown St. Augustine. Whether you're craving classic corned beef and cabbage, fresh seafood from the Raw Bar, or their famous bangers and mash, Meehan's is where locals and visitors feel right at home. Grab a pint in their cozy Irish pub, unwind upstairs at Johnny's Oyster Bar with stunning views of the Matanzas River, or kick back in their backyard with tropical vibes and a Caribbean-inspired menu. The pints are cold, the food's unforgettable, and the welcome is always warm, only at Meehan's.
All right, you may have heard of these guys. They've been around for 70-plus years, and I'm talking about A.D. Davis Construction. When quality matters, trust A.D. Davis Construction, North Florida's expert in high-end homes, commercial builds, renovation, and historic restoration. With over 71 years of experience, their dedicated team delivers craftsmanship you can count on and relationships built on trust. They don't just build buildings, they build confidence. With integrity, performance, and results that keep over 90% of their clients coming back. From concept to completion, choose A.D. Davis Construction, where your vision meets their legacy of excellence. Now we have other sponsors we got to talk about. We have to talk about the St. Augustine Distillery. Thank you, guys. And, of course, Citygate. You're wearing your shirt.
Citygate Spirits.
Coming out November 8th is a brand new whiskey, a rye.
The rye, yeah.
Yep, that is amazing at Citygates. We also have A to Z Roofing and Waterproofing, Anastasia Diner, Moultrie Creek Diner, Mr. Electric, Brightway Insurance, St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, Anastasia Construction Group, The Saint, Solar Stick, Abear Kresge and Associates, and Powell Heating and Air. We appreciate you guys, and thank you for allowing us to do the craziness we do. Lenny, it's
Hi.
Thursday. It's your last show of the week.
It's Friday for me.
It is your Friday, and Blake actually has to skedaddle out of here shortly.
Yes, I do.
So he's only with us. What time are you leaving us, Blake?
In like 2 minutes right now. So,
In 2 minutes. So we won't have any camera flip-flopping.
Okay.
We're just going to stay on this camera angle. So if it looks like there's a reason why I'm picking my nose on the air, it's because I'm used to when Lenny's talking, I can make faces at him.
And he does.
And I can't do that on today's show.
You can.
So, yeah.
You can.
So
And all I have to do is push the red button when we're done.
yes, that is
Okay.
correct.
Got it.
is Lenny further away from me than he normally is?
Not intentionally.
Okay. I know.
I'll cozy up.
We had a little lovers quarrel.
Yeah,
before the
there
show.
was a little bit of a skirmish, but hold on. But you know who's all connected right now, guys? If you guys want to lean
Oh,
in.
look, we got the whole football crew with us. We got Josh and
boys.
Aiden. They are ready for the final home game, and they're playing Mandarin. And Josh is saying that like the #1 recruit in the state is on the Mandarin team. Is that
Hold on a
correct, Blake?
second. Josh just said number one recruit in the country
for his class.
for
his class. Oh, in 28. He did write that down. It was in 20. The #1 recruit in the entire country for 2028.
Wow.
So,
So he's a youngster still.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that gives Mandarin a couple more years of a good ball player.
Yeah.
But don't sell the Yellow Jackets short. They're 7-0 coming into tonight's game, I believe.
I think there might be 8.
8-0?
So the
They're undefeated.
Yellow Jackets are 9-0. Mandarin's 8-1.
There you go.
Neither
Thank
one's
you.
going to add.
Yeah.
No count.
We crept up on it.
We knew the zero part was correct.
We got the O.
Right.
Yes.
We got the
That's
O.
the one that matters.
Yes, that is the most important thing. So once again, the pre-show tonight in partnership with 102.1 FM WFOY will be live at 6:30 with kickoff tonight at 7 o'clock. And we do want to thank all of our amazing sponsors for this year. They've been really helpful for our home games this year. We have J. Lee Construction, Barwick Banking Company, Canaan Law, Dual HVAC and Plumbing, the Noah Bailey Group, the Raintree Restaurant, St. John's Family Funeral Home, St. John's Community Pharmacy, and Stanford Restoration. Thank you all. We really do appreciate all the support that they have given us this season. We really do appreciate it. And that is my cue to head on out to St. Augustine High School. And,
Well, we'll be watching you guys. Appreciate you guys getting out there and doing such a great job. And tune in after we're done with Bollocks here. Just go stay on the 904 now. Go straight into the football game. Live coverage starts at 6:30.
Yep.
So you guys be safe. Have a great game out there, and we appreciate everything you guys are doing.
All right, thank you guys. Go Jackets.
All right,
Bring
go
home
Jackets.
a victory. That's right. Bring home a W.
Go Jackets. All right. And thank you to all our amazing sponsors. Jay Lee is our scoreboard sponsor. They really step up every year. I believe Austin Lee's probably going to be doing the color commentary for WFOY. But that company really is all about Yellow Jacket football, and we really appreciate all the support we get out there. All right.
And if you're going to the game tonight, you might need a yellow jacket because it's going to be crisp.
It's going to be a little brisky.
It's going to be autumnal.
Yes, it's brisk with a little bite in the air. All right. So I got to do some cleanup because of the fire that we reported on yesterday.
Right.
Blake did a great job on the live shoot, but someone grabbed our footage and shared it, but put in their own commentary that didn't have the right information in it.
Okay.
So they added their own take on things, which was not said by 904 Now.
Correct.
So yesterday, the fire actually was in a storage unit, had 24 carts was in the storage unit. The fire did not start by a lithium battery. It did not start because of bad ventilation or any of those things. It actually started with an 8-volt battery.
Okay.
And it got hot, it started to smoke, and then it blew up, which is that's not normal.
Right.
That's not normal. I mean, and unfortunately, when I was talking to VJ and Gail Usina, the owners of the property, they lost 24 carts yesterday. They were very, very appreciative of how fast and how professional St. John's Fire Rescue was. Yeah. And, luckily no one got hurt. There was staff there. They got away from the situation very quickly. When the explosion happened, no one was injured, which was, we're very thankful for that. But what I wanted to ask is if you guys do share, and thank you, we want you to share our information, but be accurate and be cautious because this affects people's businesses if you put something negative out that isn't always true. And you have the right to all your opinions and stuff, but you don't have the right to your facts. So, just take that into consideration.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm looking at you too, Mr. Opinion Boy.
Yeah, but I come with facts.
No, that was an opinion that person, you thought that person did that. Now, he might have got that information from there, but that's not the cause of that.
No, the crazy person's the cause of it, but it was facilitated. Anyway, leave that be. Let's carry on.
Yes, we should leave that be.
Let's carry on.
Because we don't want to have to hit end at the very beginning of the show. But no, thank you. And thank you for VJ and Gail reaching out to me to making sure that that information was put out there right. Because we do want to be accurate with our information that goes out. And Blake did do a wonderful job. We didn't really say a whole lot about the story either way or any causes of those things. So I wanted to make sure if there's misinformation out there, it didn't necessarily come from us. We just kind of extended what we had in hand.
Right, which is good. Yeah, I mean, and Blake was Johnny on the spot there, and it was a pretty big raging fire until the department knocked it down.
Yeah,
good for them.
Yeah. So and Bobby, I had the same thing, the question mark that he put in there. But that came directly from
The fire
from
department.
them. From them. So, all right. So we've cleaned up that. Now, what we got to talk about is we got to talk about a lot of nuts.
And there's plenty of them around.
And there's a lot of nuts in this world, and you are what you eat. So let's get to it.
Oh boy. I'm in serious trouble then.
This is some good. I love me some good beer. Have you had this?
Not that
bar
blend.
mix?
Nope, but I do make my own gorp at home. Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Gorp?
Yeah, I take. Usually I wait, and I got crushed by a week. Supermarkets, both Winn-Dixie and Publix, tend to have Planters jars of peanuts, buy one get one, like every 3 or 4 weeks.
Gotcha.
Publix is having it this week, but I bought all my nuts last week because I ran out of my nut mix, and I'll take the.
Can't have that.
No, I take the spicy, the
That
sweet
would
and
drive me
spicy.
nuts.
It's a short putt for me.
Yeah.
Sweet and spicy, dry roasted, honey roasted, lightly salted. Then I throw in some chocolate covered pistachios, chocolate covered cashews. I throw in raisins, chocolate covered raisins. Mix all this stuff up in a big bowl and put them back in the things. And I've got my mixed gorp for. And then actually at
that seems like a lot of work. You can just buy these.
Yeah, I enjoy it because I control the blend. And CVS has their wellness line of nuts and popcorn and things, and they do the chocolate-covered pistachios and the chocolate-covered cashews, and they also do a spicy chili-crusted cashew. That is zingy but good. So one bag of that into my 8 bags of eight containers of all the other nuts and things really is just enough to make it great. And then I just have them on the shelf, and I can throw a handful in at a time. I'll bring in a jar tomorrow.
You can only have one type of nut sitting at the bar while you're watching the game, drinking a beverage. What nut are you choosing to put at the bar? Because we're going to win.
I'll go cashews.
We're going to win that.
Which are not really a nut.
Yeah, we're going to win that liquor license
Nice.
in the lottery. So, I
cool.
I need to know what nut to put there.
Yeah.
What are these?
That is some kind of pastry.
Okay. But I can tell you this. I love wasabi. Wasabi
peas.
nuts. Yeah. Wasabi peas. Not really a nut, but.
No, and neither are cashews, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're a
They're
seed.
legume or whatever it is.
Right.
All right. That's enough about real nuts, but let's talk about political nuts. It's well past yours right now. Now it's moving into Blake could possibly win on the shutdown.
Yeah, I can't win in
today,
6 games.
Today, no. We're talking about the shutdown bet.
Oh, okay.
This bet right here. All right, you were at 26. I was at 21. Blake is at 34. It's not going to happen today. So
No, Senate went home.
That means it moved into Blake's category,
Okay.
and he's at 34, and Amanda's at 47. Amanda's looking good.
She really is. Now, I got a couple questions for you on this, and let's see if we can figure some of this out.
Mhm.
First of all, and I say this slightly sarcastically, the Republicans are going, all we need is 7 more Democrats to join us, and we can reopen the government. My question is, why aren't the Democrats saying all we need is 13 Republicans, and we can reopen the government? Because you know what? You want to reopen the government? Reopen the government. Vote for the Democrats. Vote with the Democrats on this one, and the government gets reopened instead of putting the onus on them. And I know the Republicans won the election.
They won.
Deal. Yeah, so what?
They won.
Well, government's not working right now, and neither is anything.
Here's the thing. The big thing and this is what's chapped me about the Democrats. Okay? The Democrats knew this deadline was coming. Okay? Obama, they've
Right,
set,
the expiration.
They set that expiration in place.
Right.
They could have extended it in the 4 years that they were there, and they chose not to do it.
Well, that was foolish.
And
when they had
now
the
they're
opportunity.
standing on that's the reason they're not reopening.
Well, I have a question for you. Actually, I have an A and a B, and they're kind of related and unrelated. The biggest question is the healthcare supplements that are set to expire. Okay. So if these healthcare supplements expire, people's bills are going to go through the roof. Okay. Now, that's going to happen regardless at this point in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we're not open, that's what's going to happen.
Correct. On Sunday, I guess.
Yeah. The only way to do it is settle it, get it open,
Okay.
and figure out a good compromise. Because I do not want those healthcare benefits to expire either.
Correct.
Right?
So
I don't think it's we've been able to live with it for going on 10 years now.
Yeah, and those enhanced supplements have been going on for, was it 4 years? COVID was 2020.
Yeah. Some
So
of
we're going on
the
5 years
supplements, some of the supplements do need to expire.
Okay.
Yeah, because and that's
And when they
that's
do,
not the ones that for the ones that are deservingly so.
Right.
But the problem is our government doesn't have good follow up. No matter who's in charge.
Right, exactly. No
matter who, that's a staff issue. That's not an R&D issue. We don't have good follow up. So if there's a way to and when Congressman Rutherford was in here, I made this statement. I said the most dangerous part is the people that are getting the benefits know more about the people that are handing out the benefits.
Right.
And that means they have the advantage of taking advantage, and that's happening. And that happens in so many different ways. I'm moving the nuts unless you guys want to sponsor beer nuts if you want to.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
We'll eat them every day. We're good.
But my question is this, and I saw a chart put up by the Kaiser Family Foundation that if you make X amount of money, there's a potential that your premiums are going to go up by over $1,000 from where they are now. That was one of them. Some of them, if you're a low income earner, like I believe under $22,000 a year, your premiums are probably not going to change necessarily. Some of them are by $65 in a couple of places. Some of them are $135. But my question is, when, right now the Republicans want the subsidies to expire, go away. And then maybe we'll talk to you about it. My part B on this is there any expectation that the Republicans are going, let's open the government and then we'll talk about this? I don't see any good faith in that, honestly. I don't trust the Republicans as far as sitting down and talking about it.
But the alternative is
it's the gun to their head, which is what the Democrats are doing. Well, they're going to expire regardless.
Again, why this deadline did not just go, we're going to expire on Sunday.
Right. I understand that.
Okay, it wasn't like that.
Right, it didn't sneak up on anybody.
No, it didn't sneak up on them. They had the ability, they had the votes, and they could have done that. And I mean, and I know it's kicking it down the can, but that's what government's about. Government's about kicking it down the can.
Right, to blame it on the next administration, not my administration, the next administration. Yeah. And then they do it to the next administration.
And then that way they can blame the next one.
Absolutely, which is ridiculous and counterproductive.
That's why they're all nuts.
Right. And nothing gets done.
But so I think right now the Democrats are hurting themselves. The Republicans definitely got them squared up. They're squared into the corner. They're hurting themselves more and more. It's a non-election year, and
which we proved here yesterday.
When next year comes around at the midterm, are people going to blame the Democrats or are they going to blame the Republicans? Because I think they're going to remember this moment. I have a friend who has been training for a marathon for 6 months. Now, the marathon is in a national park in North Carolina.
Bummer.
Notice she got yesterday.
Closed.
Marathon got canceled.
Okay.
She's been training 6 months for this marathon. It was going to be her first marathon.
Did she get to New York real fast?
You got to qualify to even get into that.
And the lottery.
She was able to get into another marathon that's actually in Jacksonville.
Oh, nice.
But it was supposed to be a family event, so
so
there's so many stories that are associated with this shutdown that have created, family drama, financial burdens, and all of these things.
Okay, so let's say the government opens Monday. Okay, nobody sat down and talked about the subsidies. The subsidies have expired on Sunday. What are the Republicans going to do? Because the government's open, government's getting paid, subsidies are gone. Well, people's insurance premiums have just gone up $1,000.
This is why I'm telling you, the Democrats have them by the old gajones.
Democrats have them by the lever. Right.
The Republicans have the Democrats by the gajones, because
I don't see how that works.
Unless you guys vote for it, it's going to shut down. And guess who's going to be the hero that brings it back?
Who's that?
The Republicans.
I don't believe that, because the reality of it is, once you get past Sunday, the subsidies expire. Correct?
Well, the subsidies, I'm not so worried. I'm talking about the Obama stuff. the subsidies.
Well, that's the Obamacare subsidies. This, Obamacare's not going away.
Yeah.
The Republicans have tried this for a decade and have been unsuccessful, nor have these well-intentioned, big political, brilliant, genius Republicans, no more brilliant than the Democrats,
and here's what,
haven't done anything with
here's what you
and
I have to stop doing. Okay, we have to stop saying Republicans and Democrats. They're all congressmen.
Fine. So Congress has abdicated their ability because they haven't. I mean, and you talk about who's in power.
Yeah.
Republicans have been in power for the last 2 years, or for the last half a year. But they've done nothing to do this. This didn't sneak up on the Republicans either, and they have not worked on health care at all.
Yep.
And they would like it to go away.
And Andy's made a very good point, so I want to read it in case people are watching us out on YouTube and not seeing our comments. They spend more time creating campaign issues, which is what this is. Yeah, 100% what this is.
Well, for
the next election, than doing the work for both parties. It is. You can say it isn't. It is.
No, it is. That. But it also has real life qualifications because people are going to be spending. And the insurance stuff hopefully will get worked out at some point in time. And they need to take the Republic. They need intelligence staffers and get the egotistical Congress people out of the freaking way because they're looking to protect their image and get their votes.
Yeah.
And you know what? Except for a couple of them, they don't know what's going on as far as the details of this. That's why they have staff, and that's why they have deep benches of people on their staff to do the grunt work and to look into the nuts and bolts and the machination of how these things work. They just want to come in and say, all right, my staff told me this makes sense to me, I'm going to vote that way. Yes or no, depending on which way you're planning.
Well, you do have to have trusted staff.
Absolutely.
You do have to have trusted staff.
No doubt about it.
I mean, that's any boss to employee, you have to have trusted staff.
Right. Because, other than this, there's 25 things on a congressman's plate that's important to them, whether it's just their state or their district or nationally. So they can't be conversant in everything, which is why they need to rely on their staff.
I'll tell you this. I think part of the problem, too, is we have every possible access to information at our fingertips.
Yeah.
All right? And yet, if you go on the street, and I would say less than 50%. I'm going to give it 50-50.
Okay.
If you walk up to a voting adult, and I consider St. Johns County an affluent county.
Yeah.
A county who is engaged in the political system. I would say you walk up to him and go, who's your congressman?
Yeah.
I'd say it's about 50-50.
Okay.
I mean, our audience is because our audience is engaged in what's going on in the community and stuff like that. So it's a bad control group. But I think the average Joe, and maybe we challenge you guys to go out and see just random,
ask your neighbors,
random people. Hey, who's our congressman?
Right.
And act like you don't know.
Right.
And
can you help me out here?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I need to write a letter to somebody. Can you tell me who I send it to?
Who's our congressman in D.C.?
Yeah.
And either they're going to go, the answer? I don't know, or they're going to look it up.
Right. Which people have the ability to do if they have any curiosity and they don't know the answer themselves.
Yeah.
Which is fair. But I think the real chickens coming home to roost are the SNAP benefits and the feeding programs that will also expire on Sunday. Because they're going to, right now, food banks are running out of money and out of food and out of product because the people who haven't been getting paychecks, i.e. military families.
I thought they were getting paychecks. The military families that I know are getting paychecks.
Okay, for this cycle. Allegedly, they don't have the money for the next cycle.
Okay.
But there is, in theory, emergency funding available to keep the food and the SNAP benefits going. Again, not for a long time, but for at least a cycle.
Yeah, national parks people, they're locked out.
Yeah.
So
TSA too.
Yeah, TSA. I mean,
the only people that are getting paid, whether you're essential or not, is I believe the military. And I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, what they did is they rerouted. I mean, they got that $130 million, which was barely covering half a paycheck for anybody. But they took a large tranche of money, and I don't want to go out on a limb and say how much it was. I don't know if it was 800 million or whatever it was. That was for unspent research and development in the Department of Defense, and that's what they're going to use in theory to pay the service members in the next paycheck. But there's also emergency money laying around in the U.S. Treasury that's for quote-unquote emergencies that is available to be used for the SNAP benefits and the feeding programs that they're choosing not to use. And I don't know why they're choosing not to use it. And people are suing the federal government to say, you have emergency money. This qualifies as an emergency. There is no insurrectional emergency that warrants military on the street. You call that an emergency. People are starving. That's an emergency. And, the money is allegedly there for it. So I don't know why they're not going to do that if they can. And by the way, this money writes checks that they can't cash. The government writes checks they can't cash every day.
They're printing it anyway.
So it's,
right. And I'm going back to the other story that we had. Bobby said he just learned that golf carts use 6, 8, and 12 volt batteries connected in a series, creating 36, 48, and 72 volts. So yeah, because I asked, I was like, oh, was it a 12 volt? Because I mean, even with that, that's strange that it happens, and it's even stranger that it was an 8 volt.
Which of the remember when you used to have a flashlight as a kid, you had a choice of a dry cell?
Yeah.
Those 12 or those 8? The big square ones with the little...
Those are probably 8.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I used to like those with the little spring on the top. And,
those actually might even be 6.
Okay. The big square ones. The dry cells, or what they used to call them, dry cells.
But going back to where we're at, both sides are using this as a political tool. Because it's going to strengthen the hard left is 100% blaming the right. The hard right is 100% blaming the left.
Correct.
Us in the middle are like, your job is to fix it. All right? Your job is to make this happen. This is your one job. If my job was to be here and give the news, and I didn't show up, I shouldn't get paid.
Right.
All right.
Barbara Jean just asked if there's a possibility of a constitutional amendment that says Congress doesn't get paid when the government shuts down, and no retroactive pay.
They get paid.
I know they do, but they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And let alone the fact that the House of Representatives isn't working. They haven't been working for how long? We've been shut down now? 29
days, 30 days.
So they have been working for a month.
Yep.
And they're getting paid for that month.
187,000 or something like that. Between 160 and 180,000, I think, is what they get paid.
Not a bad gig if you can do it.
So, I mean, it to me, I wish all of them, because I do believe Fetterman, the Democrat, wants to do the right thing. I wish there was more Fettermans on the right and the left, instead of trying to chase whatever vote they're trying to chase or whatever position, because this is the strategy that this side gave. This is the strategy that this side gave, and none of them are thinking on their own.
Well, I
they're
think
thinking 100% because this is what this person told me to do, and this is what this person told me to do.
And that's why you really have to appreciate a woman by the name of Susan Collins or Lisa Murkowski, and even as loony as I think he is, Rand Paul. They deal with constituencies and the problems at hand, and not the D or the R attached to them.
Yeah.
But I think there's a huge part of the Democratic caucus that doesn't buy for a second that if they open the government, that the Republicans will negotiate. And I mean negotiate, not give it away, but negotiate in good faith.
But they've already almost missed the deadline to even make that happen.
Yeah, because they keep saying we'll talk.
There was 13 Republicans that had to vote that way. There was 6,
47, right.
There was 6 Democrats.
7, yeah.
Was it 7? That had to go that way.
Correct.
Which one has the power? The 13.
Well,
so I mean, who's going to blink? And they're not going to blink,
right? And neither are the Democrats at this point.
Well, and the far right looks at these subsidies, even though some of them are completely necessary. I don't think all of them are, and I think there needs to be a conversation. I think that conversation needs to take place, but to throw a blanket over and say no one gets it,
right,
is wrong.
Correct.
All right, but to throw a blanket over it and say everyone gets it, and we're not even going to talk about it, is wrong. Both sides are wrong.
Yeah, I mean, if you're making
this should be open, and I don't know where we go from here. And like I said, I wish there was more Collins, Fettermans, Rand Pauls, and those guys, in the world.
Yeah.
So,
and I agree with you, because if you're making over $200,000, and I'll just pick an arbitrary number, but if your household income is over $200,000, you know what? You still have to pay for your insurance, but you shouldn't be getting a subsidy for that. And I know times are tough, and $200,000 in a lot of municipalities,
you got to figure it out.
You're going to stretch a little bit to get there, because in some places that doesn't go that far. In New York City, on Long Island, in some places in California, in other places. I don't know how far that goes in Texas, for argument's sake.
Yeah.
But by that same token, there's a lot of deep red states that are desperately in need of this for their constituencies. You look at Louisiana, you look at Mississippi, Alabama. These are states where these people are going to be hurting very, very quickly. They already are, but without the feeding programs, and these are all ruby red states. This isn't Chicago. It's not Illinois. It's not California. It's not New York. So to try to penalize the entire country, the Republicans are causing harm in their own caucuses, as well as the Democrats causing harm in their own caucuses. So, and by the way, I don't think anybody in Congress, any of the 435 of them are missing a meal.
No,
I don't
not
think
at all.
any of the 50 senators or 100 senators are missing a meal. I don't think any of them are losing their medical insurance because they've got federal insurance. So they're still getting their insurance, and they're still going to the doctors, and I don't know that they even have to contribute to that necessarily. So, it's the system needs to really be taken apart and rebuilt, especially the medical insurance part of it. Yeah. And,
the medical insurance is
it's
outrageous.
ridiculous.
I can tell you right now, I'll be honest with you. If it wasn't for medical insurance, and I love working for the Patels and I love working for the family, but if it wasn't for medical insurance, I could pick and choose when I want to go to work at this point in my life.
Which one of your 14 jobs you'd like to do?
That one I have to do.
Right. Well,
for the insurance for Ty and still Blake. I mean, he's still 24.
Yeah. And you got Maeve too.
Yeah. And Maeve's still under Rebecca's,
but still,
but I got Maeve coming through. And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
It's frustrating that it is that way.
And you're not alone in that case.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are doing jobs that may not be paying them as much as they can to improve their lot in life, but they can't leave because, exactly as you say, they need the insurance benefits.
Yeah. You're trapped by your insurance bill.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
all right. What other?
That's a good thing. See, you're a young man. Wait until you get old like me, and then you can get Medicare.
And
try to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. So, and that's where my parents are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom. If some of you know and listen to the morning show, my mom had a stroke about a month ago. She did get to go home yesterday, so she's doing very well. But she's getting home care and stuff like that. But if it wasn't for Medicare,
correct.
Where would an 82-year-old person be trying to afford today's salary on their Social Security?
Right.
Luckily, my parents were very good with their money and had all their bills paid off, so you can survive on it. And that's kind of the intent is, okay, if you have your bills and you don't, when Social Security first started, people didn't have 30-year mortgages.
Right.
The house was paid off and house were affordable.
Or student loans.
You didn't have
still coming.
A lot of people didn't have insurance at all.
Right.
And you just kind of rolled the dice with it. Now it's mandatory. If you have a mortgage, you have to have insurance.
Right.
So,
but also at certain point in time,
insurance to me is the Las Vegas that's legal in all 50 states.
Right. And medical insurance, you used to, when we were younger, you went to the doctor and it wasn't a back-breaking bill. There's always the question of catastrophic care and hospitalization, but, generic doctor visits and things of that nature were not going to cripple you financially. Nowadays, medical debt is one of the biggest problems that households have in the country. There's billions of dollars in medical debt that people can't afford to pay. Now, fortunately, there's a lot of places that can collect a bunch of medical debt and pay off 10, 20 cents on the dollar and get that medical debt forgiven for some people. And that's a blessing without a doubt, because that helps everybody that needs it. But look at the profit margins of Aetna, U.S. Healthcare, probably Florida Blue if they're publicly traded. These companies are not impoverished. Their bottom line is big. Their profits are huge. Their shareholders benefit. And it shouldn't be that way. Even the ones that claim to be nonprofit, their CEOs are making $1 million paychecks, if that low. So it's a very off balance system for medical care in this country.
Yeah, no, and to me, I mean, and we have great insurance people here in town. I mean, with Brightway,
We got the Casey Agency, sure,
and Casey Agency, and there's lots of resources for us to have. But if you get into those situations where my parents are still, they're up there in age, but they're still very competent. They're
sharp.
Their brains are still very sharp.
Good.
But there's so many others that don't have people looking out for them.
Yeah.
And that's where these nasty people come in, and we got to protect those that are weakest in our society. And I look at seniors and children, always very sensitive about those two groups. So let's move on. What other topic do you have today?
Well, it's equally as depressing, unless you want to talk about you want to talk about a fun Mission Impossible type of situation, or you want to get depressing about the Carl's bleaching.
I love a Mission Impossible story.
Okay.
I don't love the movies.
No. This has nothing to do with that short little guy you don't like.
I don't love the movies.
Has nothing to do with Scientology.
But I love projects where people go, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that.
Well, I
that's
take
my favorite. That's my favorite thing for someone to tell me.
I take the Louvre heist, of which they've now caught 3 of the 4 people.
Okay.
I don't believe they've recovered any of the jewels, but they've got 3 of the people with DNA, and they've apparently admitted to it, but they haven't recovered any of the baubles yet.
Okay.
But I do them one better. In Jensen Beach, Florida, down on the Treasure Coast at the Treasure Coast Mall, a couple of people got up, or might have been one, might have been a couple, however, got up on the roof of the Champs Sports store.
Okay. They do a lot of hats and shoes. Yeah.
A lot of shoes.
Yeah.
Less shoes now.
Okay.
Somebody cut a hole in the roof. Went through.
Isn't there a movie out right now with like Ryan Reynolds in it of a guy who came through the roof, and he lived in like a Walmart or something,
like a Target or something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think Julie wants to see that, so we'll get that. We'll get that going. They cut a hole in the roof through multiple layers. They cut through the steel deck, the cement board, the insulation, sheet metal, and made a nice square hole, and it was a clean cut. So they obviously used to use a grinder or some type of torch of some nature. And, nobody heard them. They're up on the roof. I guess they did this sometime overnight.
Had to be in the middle of the night.
Yeah. And they dropped down into the sporting goods store. And this is the tricky part. I don't know how they got them back up again. So there must have been somebody on the roof dropping a net or something down.
Yeah, probably.
And they
probably had a rope ladder with them. If you're bringing a grinder tool to get in from the ceiling,
right, you got to remember to get out.
You should have the ability to get out.
So they stole 400 to 500 pairs of shoes: Nike, New Balance, Air Jordans, high-end sneakers. 400 to 500 pairs of them. Everything was arguably $100 a pair or more.
Okay.
They got away with $40,000 to $50,000 worth of inventory, and apparently they couldn't carry it all, because when they found this all out, there was 100 boxes of shoes still left on the roof. 100 boxes of shoes, and they weren't empty boxes. There were 100 boxes of shoes left on the roof. They took 400 to 500 pairs of shoes, and they split. The goofy thing about this is they never set off an alarm. However, there was a motion detector camera in the store that wasn't connected to any security devices other than the motion detector. So they see these guys wandering around in the store, but it didn't notify anybody. Right. Yeah. So, that was it. So that was I guess that was last week at some point in time.
And that was in, where'd you say?
Jensen Beach in Martin County.
Florida.
Yeah, Martin County. So.
Yeah.
Kathy said the movie wasn't that great.
It was Channing Tatum. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Who did I say? Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
I get those guys mixed up a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say I look absolutely nothing like Channing Tatum.
Well, Channing Tatum apparently is a pretty good dancer, and wasn't he in Magic Mike a couple of 3 times?
Yeah. Okay. Ryan Reynolds
is not Magic Mike.
He's Deadpool.
Yeah. And very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny.
He wrote those.
Did he?
Yeah. He was the writer of Deadpool. He kept trying to get him to, because he was like in a cameo of one of them and died very quickly, but his
Deadpool, he liked that?
The Deadpool character, everybody kind of liked it. But he ended up writing I think there's 3 now. Is there third one coming out?
I think I know for a
They're
fact
working on
there's
a
2,
third
and
one.
then there's the one where what's his face? Well,
Oh, with Wolverine.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's 3. That's the third one. So yeah, Channing Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I never saw Magic Mike either.
No, nor I. Or Magic Mike 1, Magic Mike 2.
I
It
didn't.
might have even
Yeah, I
been a
didn't see
Magic
that
Mike
one.
3, but at least 2 of them.
And I do like McConaughey. Right? He's one of my favorite actors. So.
All right.
Did you hear the story of how that came to be? How he was playing the stoner
In what was that? In is that the Pineapple Express or in
The Cruiser
Fast
movie.
Time at Ridgemont High?
not Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It was the stoner movie. Kathy, help me out. You'll know this one.
Yeah, I
So
thought it
Matthew
was.
McConaughey, where it was like his first movie role, and he was trying to get prepared for it. And it was like some commentary would always say, "All right, here we go. All right."
Right.
And he was like, "All right, I got my car. I'm chasing chicks, and whatever the stoner's guy's name is." He's like, "All right, I'm ready to go." And he said it, and it wasn't one of the lines in it. And then that's his most famous line,
Right.
basically of all time. So, what do you got?
Apparently nothing, because I'm doing IMDb and I'm spelling Matthew, but Matthew. What?
Spotlight on McConaughey, right?
Yeah.
The second one. It wouldn't let.
Yeah, but that's not. I'm trying to find him in particular. So let me see
okay.
if I do that. Can I get to him?
All right, I'm
Probably not.
going to trust on our wonderful audience
Okay.
out there, to kind of give us what that McConaughey movie was. But I really enjoy him in an interview. I think he's kind of real and
No, wasn't that one?
Dazed and Confused. Thank you, Bobby.
There you go. I knew we'd get there because it wasn't Pineapple Express.
Yeah,
That was
Dazed
a
and
different
Confused.
stoner movie.
Yeah.
Right.
That was with Seth Rogen, wasn't it?
And James Franco.
Yeah. Who's
Seth Rogen was definitely a method actor in that one.
is Franco in jail?
I don't
Didn't he
think
get
so.
himself in trouble?
He did, but I don't think he's in jail.
This is clearly not Entertainment Tonight with us two hosting.
No.
But
But I will say that Mary Hart, who is a huge Dodger fan and has the best seat and has had the best seats in the house for years, she sits right behind home plate at Dodger Stadium at Chavez Ravine. And she was there for the marathon game, and she left before it was over.
Yeah.
She was there through 17 innings. I think she left before the 18th inning
oh my
started.
gosh! All right, Kathy, Dallas Buyers Club. I
Very skinny.
absolutely loved that movie, but that wasn't it. This was early on in his career. Like Days and Confused, I think was his first major motion picture, and he really shot up after that.
Yeah.
So no, he was a stoner who was like a little bit older than the high school kids and still hung out at the same place. And I can't remember his name in it, but he was a good character. I can visualize his T-shirt with the like rainbow out shirt on it. So, but of stoner movies, you went to Pineapple Express.
Pineapple Express is my default.
And Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
Um,
Spicoli was a great character.
yeah.
So, Mr. Hand and he ended up kind of getting a mutual respect at some point toward the end of that movie.
Hour pizza.
Yeah.
So,
That was all good.
all
All right. I got a depressing one for you for the
let's
state
hear
of the
the
oceans.
depressing one. We're going to end on depressing on the week. No, we're not, because we got football. We're going to lead right into
Well,
that.
this is just, this is not for lack of trying.
okay.
And this comes back to climate change or just the fact that the oceans are warming rapidly.
Mhm.
And coral is bleaching and dying all across the planet.
Coral
Reefs in particular. Coral.
not Carl Jr.
Not Carl's Jr. No. I like
Coral.
Carl's Jr. Yeah, I like those little double
Coral.
stack burgers.
Yeah.
There was a marine heat wave in July 23, 24, when the ocean temperature averaged up to 87 degrees, which would make me nervous during hurricane season, but it's getting hotter there anyway. It's the fourth global bleaching event that happened. But this one was followed by an extreme vortex. And what happened is the water gets too hot. The algae that's on the coral that serves as a food source for them dies off and falls off. And without that, the algae becomes bleached white. That's why it's called a bleaching event. And you can have a lush piece of coral. And you're a diver. You've seen these things. And it's in particular, and for years, oceanographers have been trying to replenish reefs by transplanting corals in there, particularly elkhorn coral and staghorn coral, are two types of coral. And
coral.
Coral, yeah,
Your
it's
New
a
York,
tough word.
Your New York is not letting you say
Not well.
Coral.
Right, and I'm feeling myself doing that too. Exactly.
Coral, not Carl. Coral.
But and I'm hearing that myself. I do. But the acropod corals, there's 50,000 acropod corals surveyed across 400 reefs before and after the heat wave, and 97 to 100% of them actually died because of the heat wave.
Here's what because I go to the same spot every year.
Yeah.
And it's the largest coral reef in the Caribbean. And it's in Anegada. It's right off the club where we're at. So I literally can swim out 100 yards and I'm over it.
Right.
This year it was so much healthier.
Good.
And I don't know if it was some other, because there's so many different environmental effects besides heat that affect it. But it was so much healthier this year than it has been in the past years. And I didn't know if it was because of rainfall in the area, which was high last year, which cools, cools the water, or if it just there was a shipwreck 1,000 miles away that can affect it. All of these things can affect it. The morning show today, we had in the education lead education person for Marineland.
How'd that go?
And it was beautiful, but I didn't realize that. Actually, I found out yesterday about the coral that they have in Marineland that they're creating. They come from all over the country to harvest, because that's so healthy to transplant to kind of revive corals. So it's funny. She was in this morning. You didn't even know about that story, and you brought this story in.
Well, it's interesting because a change in ocean temperature by 2 to 3 degrees can disrupt the coral growth and the algae that supports them. By the end of 2023, 3 of 200 transplanted corals in the lower Keys survived. 3 pieces of 200 transplanted corals. So what they've started to do is break the corals and put in smaller pieces so they can get more spread out.
Yeah.
The places that are surviving are further out in the ocean a little bit, or in cooler ocean temperatures, so further north. This is a worldwide phenomenon. It happened at the Great Barrier Reef, and it's cyclical. It really is. It's cyclical. So there'll be a bleaching event, either naturally or with human help. The coral reefs will be repopulated, and they'll come back, and then the temperature will go up again, and the cycle repeats itself. And the reefs are important for coastal preservation. They break up storms. They protect the beach and the shorelines.
Yeah, they change the depth of the water, and that affects the storm. It's almost like a speed bump to the storm.
Right. And that's why.
And I don't think a lot of people realize the largest living organism in the entire world is the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah,
the Great Barrier Reef. It's one of the 7 wonders, and I will go see it. Yeah. So
nice.
At some
Queensland,
point,
baby.
Yeah,
I'm in.
I will go see it.
I speak the language.
Yeah.
I just have a driver because I'd be confused on the other side of the road.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They drive the Empire side.
I'm not so great at that. I can tell you. I do it once a year, but where I'm at is so sparsely populated. When I go to cities that they drive on the other side of the road, because I don't want to say it's the right side of the road. It's
the opposite.
The other side of the road. It's very confusing going left. Roundabouts are the most confusing. Yeah. Because you come here, you naturally want to stay to the right. You go there to a roundabout, you got to stay to the left.
Right.
You got to, or it's ugly for everyone involved.
Yeah, they're going clockwise. We go counterclockwise.
You don't want to mess up a roundabout, have a head-on collision at one. So
that'll slow things down. Yep. But, there's a constant movement to create artificial reefs. And I think relatively recently, there was a decommissioned Navy ship that was sunk off the coast of Florida to create an artificial reef. And it was not that long ago, I don't believe.
Yeah, the problem with that, and I've
dove on artificial reefs?
Well, Parks and Rec,
right.
We had an artificial reef, and we created reef balls, and it's concrete. And then we got part of a bridge donated but all the rebar had to be removed.
Right.
So, it's one thing to say, we're going to create this artificial reef, which is going to do great benefit, but if it has one strand of rebar in it, now it's not cost effective to do it anymore.
Okay.
And that they haven't really proven how the rebar,
what it does,
one piece of rebar really
Right,
does to anything, because a shipwreck's
right,
made of the same material.
right, and they use
Mhm.
ships. I mean, years ago,
They got to make sure they get all the oil out. It's an expensive process making an artificial
they got to clean
reef.
that. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, years ago, I was a kid and we were in Curacao, and I went diving. Was the most uncomfortable thing my father said had ever happened to him, because he said he watched his son walk into the ocean, and for the next 30 minutes had no idea where the hell I was,
Mm-hmm.
and all he saw was ocean, and there was,
Yeah.
But we went diving, and there was a car carrier that had foundered or sunk off the coast of Curacao,
Yeah.
and they made that into an artificial reef.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting. And,
No, and
it's good for the marine life. The fish swim in and out of it and have a playhouse.
And it's fun to dive. I mean, there's a shipwreck in the BVI that it's fun to dive on. It's sitting at about 30, 40 feet. So you can free dive if you want to do that. If you can
Hold your breath that long.
can make that work. I'm not great at that, but I mean, it's a fun snorkel, because there at 30 feet, it looks like it's 5 feet.
Yeah.
Because it's so clear. So, I mean, it's a really cool little dive, and you see all the scuba divers down there. I'm a little,
Yeah.
I'm a little jealous that I can't do that anymore. But
Because your ears?
yeah, I can't clear.
Yeah, I think I have the same problem. I do, but I'm much more partial. When I was younger, much more partial to scuba diving than snorkeling,
Mhm.
because I'm a deep breather, and I always forget to purge the snorkel before I inhale.
Mhm.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah, you got to do that.
So yeah, I'm never very
Yeah.
good at that.
Yeah. Well,
So-
usually when you're doing that, you're at least close to the surface.
Right.
When
right,
that happens.
Right. Exactly.
So, well, Blake's over at the football game.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything else on the docket today.
Nope. We took care of that. And
we
that and
have
that.
the party that is going on at the rooftop of the parking garage today for the city. If you guys want to get over there and do that, you got football. There's lots of things to do tonight.
What are they doing on the parking garage?
They're celebrating 25 years of the CRA.
Okay.
So they got music going, they got games, they got all kinds of fun stuff going for the kids. And
You got to pay to get in?
Nope.
Only if you have a car.
Yeah. Nope. You have no place to park on the roof.
Exactly. But if you're a St. John's, if you're a St. Augustine resident, make sure you link your your license plate to the parking app, because it is the best deal in St. Augustine. $20 to park there. If you're a resident, it's $3 cash money, and it is a great, great benefit for our residents.
And all you got to do is sign up for it. All right. Because it is our last football game of the year.
Playoffs.
Our last football game produced by the 904 Now.
You guys don't get to do the playoffs?
The state has put too many fees on it. The whole
Really?
NIL and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We can't afford to do the playoffs. Even if they have home games here, you have to pay Florida High School Athletic Association royalties. That is actually more than our sponsors pay.
So let me ask you a question.
We can't do it.
Is somebody going to be broadcasting those games?
I believe WFOY is still paying, because their fees aren't as much as our fees.
But that's just a radio.
Because ours is production.
That's just a radio feed,
Yeah,
correct?
that's
So
a radio
nobody's doing
feed.
a video feed?
No one's doing a live video feed.
Well, isn't that counterproductive for Florida football?
You would think it is.
I would think it is.
You would think it is. So, but there are groups, bigger organizations that are willing to pay it, but they're also charging their sponsors 6 times what.
Okay.
And I can't do that.
No, I understand that, but
I can't do that to our partners.
It's a local high school football game that deserves to be broadcast to the local people, and that's just a shame that
right.
money is putting their thumb on that scale.
All right, and I want to give a thank you to these sponsors that
Sure.
allowed us to have these football games. Again, it's J. Lee Construction, Barwick Bank, Canaan Law, Do All HVAC and Plumbing, Noah Bailey Group, Raintree, St. John's Family Funeral, St. John's Pharmacy, and Stanford Restoration. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. And Blake, if you haven't caught one of the football games on our live feed, try and do it tonight because Blake and Josh and Aiden really do a fine job with it, and the team over at WFOY, James and Austin do an excellent job giving you the play-by-play and the color commentary.
And it's a fun game, and it's a good team this season. It's
and this is Coach Braddock's old team that he's playing tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So he came from Mandarin?
He came from Mandarin. They're ranked, and so is St. Augustine High.
Okay.
So.
Gonna be a good game.
Yep. All right. Thank you, guys.
See you next week.
Are you ready to hit that end button?
I am. Don't forget the morning show tomorrow, and we will see you next Monday on Bollocks.
Bye-bye.